Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the fourth edition of the Odyssey Swim Run at Pace Bend Park, just outside of Austin, Texas. I'm joined by Aaron Pallian, who's sitting at his HQ in Michigan, and I'm just right down the road from the Austin headquarters outside of Houston. But yeah, folks, we are so excited to have you here for our last ever edition of an Odyssey Swim Run race. For those of you who are new to our events, we recently partnered with the Otillo Swim Run Group out of Europe to start bringing Otillo branded events to the US, and that's going to start in 2024, so next year. And Odyssey, the Odyssey Austin course will continue next year in 2024, but it will be rebranded as an Otillo swim run event. So wanted to get a little bit of that housekeeping out of the way right away. We're really thrilled to have everyone here. This race always gets a lot of first-time athletes, and so as such, we just want to, welcome you to the sport of swim run. It's a really fast-growing multi-sport movement here in the U.S. and around the globe, and it's really unique and different than most other multi-sport events that you may have done in the past. The golden rule, so to speak, is, look after your teammate and look after each other. So in the last couple of years, we introduced solo racing to swim run, and you may be out there competing by yourself, but really you have other solo athletes and other team athletes who are out there on the course as well. Take care of one another, look after each other. If you see someone going the wrong direction out on the course, give them a heads up. We just we look after one another in this sport, and we really feel like that's why this community is so energetic and welcoming for everyone. So with that said, I'm going to turn this over to Aaron. Every single course preview, we say this is going to be the fastest yet. Let's have this in 30 minutes. So to an hour, it always ends up being closer to an hour. So Aaron, start your watch. We're going to do this one in under 30 minutes. Folks, start your watches at home, under 30 minutes. Take it away, Aaron.
All right, here we go. Thanks, Lars. Hi, everyone. I'm going to start off real quick here by sharing my screen. I will not only meet that 30 minutes, I will beat it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we're going to hop right in. So as Lars said, we are now Otillo, and that's USA Events. And if you have been to the websites lately, none of them really changed addresses or anything for now. There are some other domains we're going to put into place and tell you about them later. But if you go to odysseyswimrun.com, it'll redirect you to the new splash page. This splash page has a little bit of information we took it straight from their website, so you can find that on both websites. But this is the US splash page with links back to Europe. Under rankings, it shows how to create an Otillo ranking ID, which we urge all of you to do. It's really easy. Just go in there and create an account, so you have that so that all of your results can be counted. That is how they're counted from now on, so make sure you do that prior to this race as well. And then here are their rankings, which you will then be put in on. Our ranking system is still in effect till the end of the year, even though it's not up anywhere. I will calculate those rankings, and we will award the World Series or the World Championship spots accordingly after this race. So don't worry about that. But these are the new rankings and system going forward here. A link to our social media. Something I wanted to point out that we did, the regular Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, that kind of stuff. We're going to be building these up. Now that we're all together as one, we're going to be building these up over time. But I did add the US Athletes group page specifically, and the Swim Run Partner Finder group, because we get a lot of questions about joining both these groups, finding information in these groups. So there's direct links to those if you need that. You can contact us through here, direct link to Europe. And under the USA drop down, you'll find all 4 of our current events. We will be adding some new ones to the mix, announcements later. But next year, all 4 events are scheduled to happen, and all that information is updated. But today, we're just going to talk about Austin. So I'm going to Austin.
Aaron, I got to interject quick.
Yeah.
Just because we are trying to get through quickly doesn't mean you get to talk quicker, though.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
hey, you can't be picky, man. Okay, so I'll try and slow it down just a little bit, but under event info here, we're going to just talk about a couple things specifically. This is a much more detailed website than the one-page websites we had before, but it's much better organized. Just take some time, go around, find all the info you need. Specifically under frequently asked questions and how to, there are the FAQs, but also how to make changes to your registration with tutorials on all kinds of things, how to wear your stuff during the race, all of that. So please email us all you want, but before you do, make sure you come in here and check this out, because I bet that you can answer your own question. All right, back over to event info. Let's jump real quick to where's parking, man. Did I lose
Well,
it here?
parking's pretty easy.
Yeah, so parking is all on site. And that's, I think, why I don't have it on here actually. It's all on site, but what I wanted to make specific notes about was the entry fee to the park. So it's $10 to get into the park, but you only pay that if you're not staying at Camp Tex Lake or if it's not race morning. So basically, if you come on Friday or Saturday and you're not staying with us, you're gonna have to pay the park entry. Other than that, it should be taken care of. Just make sure you tell them race morning you're with the race and going to Camp Tex Lake, or if you're staying there the days prior, you can tell them that and they should let you in. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about was packet pickup.
And Aaron, let's just make the clarifier there with the parking. So on Saturday, for example, there is an on-vol coaching pre-course, like a run through that Marcus and Trista and some others are putting on, that a lot of you have expressed interest in going to. That is inside of Pace Bend Park. You are going to have to pay for parking because you're going to be parking your car over where you're meeting. If you are just coming to packet pickup at Camp Tex Lake, tell the front gate you're going to Camp Tex Lake. You do not have to pay for parking.
All right. So you saw how I went to packet pickup, the packet pickup page here. I'm not going to go over all this, guys. I sent you an email actually about 10 minutes ago. That email has a direct link. It's a button to this page. Please just read over all of this. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions that aren't answered on the site, please email me. Additionally, though, in that email, there is a QR code. Make sure that you bring that. That QR code that each of you get is specific to your registration. It makes it a lot faster for me to check you in. And I know that only the people that have that entry get that QR code. So that's definitely something I need. And then bring your ID. One thing to note is that you can pick up your teammate's packet. We ask that you do. So if you don't come with your teammate to packet pickup, you're going to be picking up both your packets. Make sure you have their ID and make sure you have written permission, maybe a text, an email, or actually written out for you to do so, and you can get their packet. Same goes for anyone not in the race. If you wanted to come and you had to pick up a friend's packet or something, same rules, their ID and permission from them, and you can get it. But that's all I'm going to go over for packet pickup. You can look at the rest yourself. The last thing I'm actually going to go over by myself here without getting Lars involved with the course and everything is mandatory gear. So the things that we provide are a silicone swim cap, and a singlet style number bib. That's one size fits all. If you're individual in the solo, you're just going to get, you'll each get a different number and a bib and a timing chip. The chip does not match the bib. If you are on a team, you're going to each get your own bib, but the numbers match. They should be the same. Additionally, you will get a chip as well, but it's only one chip. Again, doesn't match the bib, and we don't care who wears it because you guys are real close to each other as you race. Definitely at the finish line, you should be, especially. And so it doesn't matter who wears that. The things that you do have to, oh, I'm sorry. Let me take a step back. The rest tube. A rest tube is, it's like a small fanny pack type thing. Doesn't weigh much. It's secured to your hip via just like a race belt. And after a while, you don't really realize it's there. But for those in the solo race, it's an added level of safety, security. If you get in trouble in the water, you can pull the zip cord or the little cord. It auto inflates and it has a whistle on the end. So one of the mandatory things below is a whistle. If you're in the solo race and you get one of these from us, then you do not have to have your own whistle. It's on there. And these are mandatory. They are a free rental for all solo athletes. You get it at Packet Pickup. We do expect those to be turned in at the end, along with your timing chip and strap and your wetsuit if you rent a wetsuit from us. Those are available at Packet Pickup as well. The things that you're responsible for bringing with you,
Aaron,
goggles.
let me interject there quick. We also do have all of ARC's wetsuit inventory, as well as pull buoys and some paddles that we're bringing out to the event. And so if you have, for example, a triathlon wetsuit that you realize isn't going to meet, the quality that you want on race day, we are going to have some ARC wetsuits that will be available for sale as well.
Okay. Yeah, we have quite a few of those. I don't know exactly what sizes, guys. We're going to do a better job with inventory, so we'll have that ongoing. As far as being able to tell you, like if you were to email me and say I want to buy a suit, I could tell you exactly what size. I can't for this race, but I will be able to next year and going forward. So if you come to the race without a wetsuit and you don't rent one, assuming we'll have the size, you do so at your own risk, even though we have a lot. All right, so goggles are recommended, not required, definitely recommended. Shoes, you have to have shoes, but anything that's light offers good support, grip, things like that, drains easily. Wetsuit is required, whether you rent one, buy one from us, or get your own. It is required for the race. We get a lot of individual emails asking why, especially at this race. It is a little warmer here. You do get cold by the end of the race, no matter how warm it is out, because you've been in the water all day. It's an added level of security and safety for us, knowing that you guys are a little more buoyant than you would be, obviously, without one. They're not quite as buoyant as like a triathlon wetsuit, but they still add that buoyancy, which is great. So that's also why. And at the end of the day, guys, I'm sure a number of you could do just fine without it. We can't make special exception in one-on-one considerations. It's a blanket call. Now, if this race was ever warm enough where we wouldn't make it mandatory, we would let you know, but don't ever assume that. If that happens, we would let you know like race morning. Okay. But assume that's not the case.
Yeah, Aaron, let's just take that one step further. So with that said, we are expecting warmer afternoons this week, cooler mornings, some rain possibly leading into race day as well. That should keep things a little bit cool. However, do bring something in the event that we make a race official decision not to wear wetsuits. But unless you hear from us, the wetsuits are mandatory.
And again, if you need to rent one and you don't know how because you've already registered and you need to go back and add it on to your registration and run sign up, click this how-to button, take you right to this page and show you exactly how to do that. All right, compression whistle. A whistle if you're not a solo athlete. Remember, those are on the rest tubes if you're solo. One whistle per team's fine. Compression bandage, one per team's fine, one per solo, obviously. Here's a link to see how to use it. If you click here, you might be able to still order one and overnight it. A tether, we do not require you to attach the tether, only that each team has one tether on them in general, just in case it gets super foggy or the weather gets bad in any way. We may implement a mandatory tethering during or before the race. We really haven't done that. We did at Casco Bay though this year, right? Or did you not?
Maybe. Geez, you know what? I don't even know if we did at Casco Bay this year, but if there was a race that we would have, it would have been that one. I was going to say, other than that possibility, we haven't ever had to make a mandatory tether section.
Yep. So better safe than sorry there, guys. Just make sure you have a tether on you just in case. And that is it for the mandatory gear. Now, are we going to check this? We're not going to check it at Packet Pickup, but we reserve the right to check it during the race at any time, whether that's just a random check or we happen to see you don't have something that's mandatory. That can be anything from a disqualification to a time penalty. So just make sure we're all adults. We can all follow the rules. Make sure you are at all times, please. All right, so I'm going to go, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, I'm going to go to the schedule of events and then right into the course map, Lars.
Oh, that was great.
Okay, so this is easy. Schedule of events. 1 to 4 o'clock is Packet Pickup. 1 to 2 is short course, 2 to 3 is long course. That is not mandatory. You show up at your time, but we really, really, really hope you do. It helps us keep the lines down. It helps us just organize it a little better. But if you have to come at a different time than you're assigned, that's okay. Let's just try and limit that. 3 to 4 is kind of for anyone that's running late or can't make the other times altogether. Okay. If you're coming outside of your time, please make sure you're double checking the bag you get to make sure your swim cap color's right. Make sure you're telling us if it's long course time and your short course, let us know your short course just to make sure everything's going right there. Double check for us if you could. On Sunday, 5:30 a.m. parking opens. If you're not staying on site with us already, majority of the race actually stays at Camp Tex Lake, which is nice, but there's plenty of parking. 6:50 a.m. is anthem and announcements right outside the dining hall. 7 a.m. all races start, short and long course, all at once, unlike a lot of our other races.
And it also be really quick. It should also be said that with daylight savings falling back over this past weekend, we will start at first light. We are not going to start you guys in the dark, so that time might be pushed back 15 minutes or so until first light.
It should still be good. I just checked sunrise at 7 a.m. However, there's been years where clouds have been in, it's been a little dark or fog or whatever. So yeah. So be aware of that, guys. 2 p.m. is when the race concludes. To my best knowledge, we have never had to cut anyone off this race. Lars, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. So should be all good there, guys. I'm done with the schedule of events. We have 15 minutes, Lars. What you gonna do? Race course. All right. You can read all this, guys. There's nothing for me to talk about in here. Lars, do you want me to jump, just like read through a little bit of this before we get into the map, or what do you want to do?
No, I think we can talk. It can come up as we're talking about the course map.
All right. Let me pop this map up here. I'm going to pull this off to the side here. Okay. Wait, what happened? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah. So folks, if this course map, well, let me say this first. One of the fun things about swim run that makes it different than triathlon, that makes it different than running, is we tend to make changes, sometimes frequently, sometimes before the event. And surprise, here we are race week, and we changed the course, but we would never change it for the worse. We would always change it for the better. For those of you who competed the 2020 and 2021 years, we were able to utilize the beautiful Highland Lakes Camp and Conference Center property. We were not able to use that property last year, so we had to modify the course. They are under new ownership, and they did allow us permission to use that property again this year. So you'll notice that that the course is now going clockwise around from the race start area of Camp Tex Lake. So we are, well, let's just start at Camp Tex Lake, and I'll notify you when we're into this new section of the course. So the race headquarters is at Camp Tex Lake. It's a Girl Scout property that we have an agreement with them to take over between Friday and Sunday. That building right there is kind of race headquarters for the entire week. That's where all the packet pickup will be. That's where if you're staying at lodging there, you'll have access to some meals there. It's where our post-race festivities are and all of that good stuff. So the race is going to start there. The first run is going to take you within the property and then off the property. So run one, it's going to take you off the property through a set of gates. It's going to take you down a gradual downhill into to Johnson Cove. There's always a little bit of bushwhacking there where you go through some weeds to get down to the swim start. That first swim is going to be clockwise. It's about 800 yards, 800 meters. And then you're going to be getting onto that Highland Lakes property that we talked about that is new for this year, different from last year. So that's about a 1.5 mile run inside of that property. I was told by the owner that there is a camp going on there on that property this weekend. So you're probably going to see some folks walking to and from breakfast. They're going to look at you like you're some strange alien, having just ascended out of Lake Travis, which you are. Uh, be happy, smile, wave at them, no cursories. They are inviting us onto their property as guests, and so we want to make sure that we're, being good stewards there. So you're going to go down a dirt trail. You're going to exit their property, and the next swim I would say is maybe the most difficult for sighting of the entire course, because you're going to actually swim past 2 or 3 different coves. Just keep swimming until you see our big teardrop flags that signify where you get out of the water. So that is, what does that say, Aaron? About another 800 yards?
800 meters.
Yeah, 800-meter swim. So you'll get out of that swim. This is a bit of a bushwhack as well. The beginning of that next run, the first probably 200-300 yards of that run is going to be through some bush. How do you tell where you're going? You tell where you're going by flags. A flag that tells you to get out of the water. But when you're running, we're going to have some surveying flags that are about, I would say, shin high. So they stick into the ground by some wire, and they're going to be neon orange that say Otillo. You follow those orange flags. They're going to be every probably couple hundred of yards, especially if there's any major turns or intersections. We're also going to have some circle stakes that with a directional arrow when we want you to turn in a certain direction. Just please follow the signs that we place out there on the course. These are trails that are well marked for mountain bikers and for trail runners, but we want you to follow the course that we have set up. So just because there is a trail going somewhere doesn't mean that it's necessarily the trail that the race course is going on. Follow our course signage.
Lars, can I interject for just a sec? So the flags, the swim exit flags are bright neon yellow, super tall. They say Odyssey. And then you said the survey flags, which are new that we're doing for this race, are neon orange and say Attillo. The circle signs are pink, and I think they say Odyssey. So we got some different colors, guys. But
yeah, all of the words are very small, and so I don't think, if you're actually running, you're not going to really be able to see any of the words. But I think, Aaron, what you're pointing out, the colors are the most important thing. Swim teardrop flags, neon yellow, survey signs, which kind of act as intermediate guidance flags. Those are neon orange, like your shirt. And then
this is salmon.
And then the salmon, not Detroit Tiger Orange. And then the directional turn arrows are like Aaron said, like a pink or sorry, a purple.
Is it possible you'll have any of the ones like we've used in the past hanging from the trees that are pink? Or are
The
you doing away with those
only possibility we would have those, and now it's not a possibility because I heard you're flying and not driving, is if we can't actually get those, because if the ground is too hard and we can't get the stakes in. But we have that cool like injector. So
yeah.
No, I don't think there's going to be any possibilities of putting the ribbons up in the trees like we've done in the past. We're going all to these. They just work so much better when you're running. Your field of vision is kind of looking down, and so to see the survey flags, which I'll give Aaron one more his due where Aaron has said we should go this route for over a year. The Otillo 2 years. The Otillo World Champs had it this way. It was so easy to follow. I was sold. So Aaron, you told me so.
Oh, I love when you admit stuff like that.
So that We're at tournament point there, where the course is purple, where the segment's purple.
Yep.
So short course athletes, you're just going to follow this cove, the road along the coves. You're going to come out to where the cliff jump formerly was. You can take a peek over the cliffs and you can see why we're not jumping this year. Texas has been in a bit of a drought the past year. We did have a big rainstorm a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, I think we need probably one or two more of those. The lake is about 40 or 50% capacity right now. And so we are taking out the cliff jump for the second year in a row for safety's sake. You will be able to traverse down the rocks right there to get into the swim. You're going to basically be swimming back in the same direction that you had just run from, going towards the directional arrow. We're actually talking about short course here. And then you're going to take your last run leg back into Camp Tex Lake. So
Well,
that
they have
same
a swim there, right? This swim here.
Yep. That run into Camp Tex Lake and then that last swim. You guys just read the maps. Read
Yep.
the maps, follow the maps.
Okay.
And then for the long course, so that same section where the short course runners went to the cliff jump there, you're going to follow the course markings across the width of the Pace Bend Park trails, and then you're going to hit your longest swim of the day, which is essentially you go down a very steep boat ramp. There are no boats that are going into those ramps right now. All public boat ramps are closed due to the water levels being so low. But you're going to go down into the water there, and you're going to stay just close to the shoreline. You're going to swim counterclockwise on that swim. That's going to be the longest swim of the day. You're going to be breathing to the left. You're going to see shoreline the entire way. And you pop out of that cove. That's going to be probably your steepest and rockiest cove exit of the race. These exits are points where you want to use caution over speed, and so think of that saying, smooth is slow, slow is fast, where you basically are just think about being smooth as you're going through through those rock scramble sections. So that is going to be the longest run of your day long course. You're going to be doing a kind of an out and back section. Again, just follow the course signage. You're going to kick over to the opposite side then of the peninsula of the park. Down a boat ramp, a very short swim, another very steep and long rock scramble to get up back onto the back up onto the roads, and then you're going to do that same section that short course did earlier, where you go down to where the cliff jump used to be, and then you run back towards Camp Tex Lake, do the swim. Altogether, for the long course, we're looking at just under 13 miles of running, and about 3 miles of swimming. And for the short course, you're looking at about 8 miles of running and 2 miles of swimming. So yeah, that's the course in a nutshell. Again, this is a Google interactive map that Aaron has put together for us. Everything is listed on there. It clearly marks where the long course is. It clearly marks where the short course swim and run legs are, where the aid stations are. The aid stations will have precision hydration electrolyte drink. Those are 1,000 strength pH. It's kind of like a light orangey, light orange type flavor. And then you will also have precision fuel gels. So those have, I think, 30 grams of carbs in them. Take what you need. Don't stash away like you're planning for a picnic at those aid stations. A lot of athletes will actually bring food and or gels that they would from home or something that they would bring as well. But those gels are out there as are needed for you. Just remember that you have a couple hundred other athletes in and around you who are also looking to get nourishment. You do have your collapsible cups that you're going to be racing with. We will be selling foldable flasks as well that just allow a bit more water or drink in them. Being that you are in Texas, that could be a good solution to have if you want to carry water throughout those run legs with you. We'll be selling those at the packet pickup area. There will be some real food as well at those aid stations. But that's going to be smaller things like maybe some fruit, just maybe some peanut butter jelly sandwiches, some things like that.
Just to add a couple things here, we will have course medical out there. You guys may or may not notice them. It's a lot of ground to cover, plus you're busy racing, so may not notice that, but they are out there. We'll have someone at the start finish, and then they're just roaming. This park is pretty accessible with cars, and there's a lot of cross sections, which brings up the next point, is that all of our races are on open courses. And so just make sure, guys, when you're on the trail, and you come up to an intersection or something that looks like it could be one, slow down, look left and right. I mean, do the responsible thing. There's no police out there stopping traffic or anything like that, like in a road race. So if you come to that area, you guys are responsible for your safety. Look in both directions and just abide by any normal, traffic laws when it comes to that stuff. And then I wanted to mention something.
Aaron, that's a great point. I mean, the park is not closed to the public, so that's a great point. Just keep your head on a swivel, and you do need to yield to traffic, and not the other way around. So you just have to assume that they do not know that there is a race going on.
And let's see, the restrooms. Okay, so restrooms at the start and finish, nice ones inside the dining hall, plenty there, no problem. Out on the course, there's restrooms, and I don't know if I have them marked on here or not. I don't know. There's a couple spots, and you'll see them as you go by them. They're permanent structure or semi-permanent, but we don't put any restrooms out there. So just be aware of that. I wanted to mention the main thing here was, as I'm zooming in, the people that are staying with us, when you come in, you'll come in right here and you'll come up into Camp Tex Lake. And right here is kind of the first main building you're going to see. If you park in this area and go in here every year, they have I give them a list of people that check in, and they've been kind enough to check people in. Now, if they're not going to do that this year, I will let you know. If you don't hear from me, assume that that's what's going to happen. So for all of you that are staying with us, this is both Friday and Saturday. Park, come in here, talk to whoever is in the building doing that. They'll point you the right direction. But if you have this map up, it's easy enough as is. There's lodging out here, Suncrest, and then a number of people stay here at the Flora and Fauna, which I think is where everybody usually stays anyway. We'll assign that, let you know before we give her that list to check you guys in. So all of the included breakfasts and the stuff that comes with that is going to be in this dining hall that morning, and I will send you some details on that in a day or two. So be aware of that.
And just to give you an idea, folks, I mean, that's a 1-minute walk. Yeah. This is very, very close to between all these buildings.
And unless something changes too, they've allowed everyone in the past to kind of leave their stuff in there. There's no real official checkout. Checkout's kind of just when the event ends. So you guys can go back after, shower, get stuff ready, take your time, probably even take a nap if you wanted to, but just make sure you're out by Sunday night out of there. But make sure you bring your own sleeping bag or sheets or whatever you're going to lay on, and a pillow as well, guys, because it's a bunk and a mattress is what it is. So
and it is climate controlled, which is, and it has, I mean, it even has a washer, dryer. It has kitchen stations to make coffee, all that kind of stuff as well. If you are not staying with us at Camp Tex Lake, that swimming pool that is on the property, that will be unlocked, and that does have a couple showers for anyone who doesn't have any lodging at our property. After the race, feel free to go use those showers.
And Lars's mom is cooking her usual awesome food for not only the breakfasts, but also for people that are staying, but the post-race meal for everybody. And then his world famous dad is announcing at the finish line. He hasn't got to do that all year. So if you think he
He's
had
been
energy
saving up.
before,
He's through a full season of cross country back home in Iowa. He's been saving his voice. He's well rested.
I am looking forward to it.
Yep. So yes, Mark on the mic will call you guys in. And yeah, we are really excited to have you guys this upcoming weekend. I mean, thanks so much for joining us. We're super excited. If you do have any more multi-sport friends who you think need to get in on this action, feel free to tell them to come along, either as a spectator to watch and see what all this madness is about, or even to come and join. But looking forward to a great weekend.
We still need, we got enough volunteers for everything, guys, pretty much, except we could use some more kayaks. We have a lot, which is good, but we could use 4 or 5 more. So if you guys know anyone or have a family member, you guys have a kayak, we would love some additional help to just kind of pad the numbers out there. So you can sign up as well through the website. There's a whole volunteer link on the menu bar. But otherwise, yeah, what Lars said, looking forward to seeing you guys and closing the season out right.
Great. Have a great rest of your day.
See you guys. Hold on.